Listen, let me tell my audience what happened with you and I today. We were arguing on television earlier because
I was more like winning.
You were not winning, Ryan Clark. You were not winning.
That's what was happening. I was winning.
Ryan Clark, you actually were talking about Big Ben Roethlisberger as if he could have not done any better, or Aaron Rodgers could not have done any better than him. The blasphemy coming out of your mouth.
But we're talking about ifs, right? We're saying if Aaron Rodgers was
why
there.
Why not? You don't.
All I know is
okay.
Aaron Rodgers is I agree with you. He's the baddest man to ever throw a football.
Okay.
Right? So I'm not debating on if Aaron Rodgers.
I appreciate you acknowledging that.
Yeah, you were right for once on that. You were right. But Ben Roethlisberger has been to 3 Super Bowls. He's won 2 Super Bowls. And when you look at what he's been able to accomplish with that team throughout his career, and now you're going to use it as a negative because he hasn't won because he's had Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell with the defense that I have to come on and try to defend against you for the last 5 years.
That's right.
When you lose 45-42 to the Jacksonville Jaguars
more like
in the
38.
playoffs.
He gave Big Ben Roethlisberger gave Jacksonville a touchdown in that game.
Okay,
so it's more like 38.
Okay, so they got one, but you put up 42 points.
Okay.
And you mean to tell me before that game, if they would have told you the Steelers would score 42 points and lose, you would have believed that?
I felt that last touchdown was basically meaningless because the Steelers already were out of it and Jacksonville was in it prevent. But that's neither here nor there. Okay, I understand it. My biggest thing with this, Ben Roethlisberger is a 2-time champion. He's been to the Super Bowl 3 times. I get the fact he's a future Hall of Famer. I'm not taking anything away from him. But I think that you diminish the importance of a guy that sits around and says, you know what, maybe I don't have it anymore. I mean, he did say that after he threw 5 interceptions against Jacksonville. There have been question marks that he has created as it pertains to his zest to play because he's had some trepidation about whether or not he wanted this career to continue because of the hits that he's accumulated over the years. What do you say to that? You have no concern about that stuff?
No, I don't. What I have concern about is how you go and play the game of football. Does Big Ben sit in the pocket and shrug off sackers as they try to sack him? Does he extend plays and hit balls downfield to Juju Smith-Schuster, to Antonio Brown? And we saw him do those things last year. When you look at his stats from the year before, he had more passing yards. There were more interceptions, obviously, because of the Jacksonville 5-interception game, but he also still threw 29 touchdowns. So Big Ben was productive. Antonio Brown is the player he is when Big Ben is the quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers, not when he's out. So Ben has a lot to do with that success. Obviously, Le'Veon Bell, we both agree he's the best running back in the league. But still, with those things, you have to defend. You have to make plays on special teams. Big Ben is not the reason this team hasn't won Super Bowls recently. There's been other problems on this team, mainly the defense. I think he still has it. He still wants to play. You can't pay attention to what he says because and I've told you this for a long time, Big Ben's relationship with the media is a strange one. Big Ben, Coach Tomlin will come in every year, don't talk about injuries. What does Ben do?
Talk about
injuries. Right? He has a bad game and you get, maybe I can't play no more. He has a great game and what do you get? Oh, maybe this Cowboy still has a lot left. What he says and his words aren't what you take. You watch him play. But then you see this offseason when Mason Rudolph comes in, and we're talking about Big Ben, the best ping pong player I know, the best garbage can around the world shooter I know, the best softball player.
I'd like to play some ping pong against Big Ben.
Yeah, all right now.
I know he is. I know he's special.
He's a guy that was a 4-sport letterman. Right, so
I take it back. I don't want to play.
Yeah, so you bring Mason Rudolph in, and he says, you know what, Mason gonna have to wait. It's gonna be a long time before he takes the reins of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Comes back in the best shape he's ever been in. Hires a new trainer. Hires a nutritionist.
Why
now?
The things. Why now, Ryan? I mean, listen. Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, Tom Brady. All of these boys have been around forever. Why is it now that Mason Rudolph is around? Rudolph out of Oklahoma.
Here's the thing.
Why now?
Stephen A. Here's what I always say. I don't care what motivates you to be great. I don't need to know your why. I just need to know that you're doing it.
I guess what I'm asking, but I'm not asking a why. I'm saying
we're talking today though.
Yeah, because I'm like, doesn't it bother you then that you're saying it now? That means it hasn't been there for the last several years.
No, it just means people have different approaches, right? People have I was James Harrison before the videos, right? James showed you all this video. The guy he trains with was my trainer. I introduced it to. So I did all those same things because I had to. Troy trained differently because he could, right? The style of Big Ben's play, he felt like he didn't need those things. Now, and getting older and understanding, okay, my game may have to change and I may have to do different things, he sought the work or sought the people to help him do that. Tom Brady wasn't always TB12. He wasn't always doing those things. But as he searched for ways to continue to play as he got up in age was when he started to diet the way he does, live the way he does. And I think Big Ben understands that now. He wants to be better. He wants to be this quarterback that you say he needs to be improved, that he's an elite level quarterback, or prove he still has the fire, and he's doing those things. You don't have to worry about Big Ben. He's going to be there this year.
I normally would take your word for it, and I'm still going to take your word for it now. Even though Ryan Clark, now that he's not playing, is bigger and more muscular than he was when he was playing, which I'll let you explain another time. We're talking to Ryan Clark, our NFL analyst extraordinaire.